Well, I read Ship of Fools, and there had been a great deal of criticism about the ending of Ship of Fools. And I liked the ending. And I looked in the phone book, and there was a K.A. Porter living in Georgetown. So I said, what the hell? And I picked up the phone, and I called K.A. Porter. And it was Katherine Anne Porter. And we got to talking, and talking, and talking. And it was a wonderful conversation. She was dying to talk. And Lord knows I was, because she was a writer. And I finally got onto the fact that she was depressed, seriously depressed. And I finally said, do you think maybe I should come see you? She said, absolutely, please, come tomorrow. So I went over and represented her for 20 years. She just wanted desperately, she wanted desperately to love a man, for one thing. And she'd had a whole string of people that she loved. Well, I was next on her list. And she always told me she loved me, but I mean, neither one of us, I think, took it very seriously. This was just one of the needs of her life, to be able to say this and make meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. She was a marvelous cook. And so I used to go over there as often as I could, and she'd make me a meal, and she'd have other authors in, famous authors in, and so forth, and we'd have a meal with them, and it was just very, very nice.
Through Katherine Anne Porter, is that how you got?
Oh, excuse me. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
What you were about to ask? The way I actually became her lawyer was she was sitting next to Justice Harlan one night at dinner, and she was bemoaning the fact that she hadn't had her will written, that she had all kinds of legal problems. Somebody was claiming her silver as hers, and so forth, so forth. And he said, well, I thought you knew Barrett Prettyman. And she said, well, I do. And he said, well, you know, he's a lawyer. And she said, well, I just never thought of him in those terms. Namely, I'm in love with him. And she said, well, my God, you're right. And called me, and that's how I became her lawyer for 20 years. Go ahead.
Well, Katherine Anne, what was the connection, Katherine Anne Porter, your book, Truman Capote, Cold Blood? What's all the strings of all that?
Yeah. I ran against Truman Capote at an affair in New York, where he had. Are we running out of time?
No, I got a plane this afternoon, so I'm just talking. No,
we got all day.
You got all day.
I
don't, but you do.
We're good.
Well, I want to be sure to catch some lunch, but it's only 11:10, so.
We'll take care of lunch. Truman Capote.
Yeah. I ran into him at a function in New York that Katherine Anne had been given some award at. He said, oh, I'm so glad I ran into you. I need a lawyer. And I've been talking to Katherine Anne, and she says you're quite a lawyer, and so let's talk. He was doing a documentary on the death penalty with, I think it was ABC. Could have been another one, but I think it was ABC. And he said, I've got to get permission of people condemned to death to interview them. I've got to get their lawyers' permission. I've got to get the prison's permission. I've got all kinds of hurdles I've got to get through before I can interview these people. And will you represent me? And I said, sure. And so we had a time. We would be in the worst prisons in the morning, eat one of the best lunches anyone had ever seen at noon, go back to death row, talking to people, and I tell you, it was an experience talking to these guys. I remember one guy, we were sitting at a table about half the size. He was right across from me. And I asked him a question. He laughed. He said, you know, they think, he didn't say who, they think that I wanted to murder my mother. If I could get to her, I'd murder her all over again. And he looked at me as if to say, and you're next in line. He gave me a, and this table looked smaller and smaller and smaller. We ran into all kinds of people like that. They were really, really dangerous people. The reason I was doing the interviewing was that we very quickly found that these death row prisoners would not talk to Truman because of Truman's
Sexuality?
Sexual
orientation.
And just his voice sounded strange to these guys, and he thought they were gay, and he wouldn't have anything to do with gay and so forth. So.
What was Capote like?
Very bright.
Yeah.
Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good eye for getting things done. And I was one of his foils for that. I liked him, but we were never really close friends.